The story is pretty simple. Tariffs across the board, higher tariffs on certain countries, higher tariffs and lower tariffs on certain goods. Trump loves tariffs. He says he believes that the tariffs are going to bring back economic growth. They're going to essentially rebuild the Rust Belt, plug the deficit because it's going to generate income. Here's the other side of the story. There's definitely a downside to tariffs. When we tariff autos, and we're doing it, I believe, at 25%, there's going to be a reciprocal tariff from other countries on us. That means our exports, auto exports, are going to be tariffed at that level. And you could say this across the board. You tariff China 34%, which President Trump is calling for, they're going to come back with some stuff against us, not just tariffs, but other punitive trade measures. This sort of trade war issue is what basically has a lot of Wall Street people that recently spoke with Donald Trump. I'm writing about that in the New York Post today. Concerned about not just that we go for a tit-for-tat trade war and it upends the markets. That's unsettling. That's what's been going on now. But really concerned about the overall economy, that for the first time since the 1970s, and I'm an old guy, so I remember the 1970s, we get something known as stagflation. Back in the 70s, stagflation came because of an oil price shock. Arab oil embargo sent prices through the roof, oil prices. Back then, oil and derivatives of oil were found in just about every product, so that caused massive inflation. It also slowed down the economy because it was a shock. We could have something like that here based on the tariffs, the tit-for-tat going back and forth. You could have higher prices. Yes, import prices go up because of tariffs. We put tariffs on foreign goods, stuff they sell here. There are parts that are in U.S. goods that leads to price increases, i.e. inflation. On top of that, our imports are throttled. Therefore, we get slower economic growth. You get a recession, i.e. that's stagflation. And that's really where we may be going in the next 2 months. And if that happens, what you have is a political dynamic that we haven't seen in a long time, and something that is going to be quite frightening to the Trump presidency. Now, Donald Trump is ever the deal maker. He's calling for reciprocal tariffs. That means if you come to the bargaining table, he's willing to deal. You bring down your tariffs, we bring down ours, you really reduce your trade barriers, we'll do the same. If that does happen, that dynamic, that art of the deal, so to speak, dynamic happens, this thing could be cleared up by the summer. But in the intervening months, what I'm hearing, and like I said, Wall Street executives, top Wall Street executives, market strategists and experts have explained this to the White House and President Trump himself, you're going to get a couple of quarters of really nasty stuff. The real question is, how bad does this hurt the Trump presidency? If it does come to what the experts are saying might come or probably will come, it's going to make Doge, the controversy surrounding Doge, look like a walk in the park. So be prepared. This is going to be a wild time, the next, I would say, 3 to 6 months until we figure out exactly where these tariffs are going. Can we cut deals? Will the other side play ball? Will the Chinese play ball? We have lots of reasons, Trump does, to negotiate with them. He wants the TikTok deal, right? U.S. creating a new TikTok, essentially from the old company, getting and using the Chinese algorithm. He needs Chinese sign-off on that. He wants to get the ports back in the Panama Canal. They're owned by a Chinese company. He wants BlackRock, a U.S. company, to buy them. That needs Chinese government approval. Again, we have a lot of reasons to deal on China and all these places. The question is, in the intervening time, what happens with the economy? And it could get pretty nasty. I would just say, be prepared for the worst and hope for the best, including the markets. The markets will respond first, and then you'll get the economic data probably at the end of the second quarter.